The crash and the encounter. The sky above was black with smoke. Captain Aaron Cole could barely see through the cracked glass of his cockpit. Warning lights flashed red, and alarms screamed inside his ears. The scout ship was dying. "Come on, hold together," he muttered, gripping the controls. The ground was rushing up fast, too fast. With a deafening crash, the ship slammed into the surface of the alien world. Metal screamed and tore apart. Aaron's head snapped forward, but his helmet saved him from the worst. Then, silence, except for the sound of something hissing in the distance. Aaron groaned, unstrapped himself, and pushed the cockpit hatch open. The air outside was thick and strange, smelling like burnt metal and ash. He stepped out, boots sinking slightly into black dust. All around him were ruins, broken towers of alien design, their shapes sharp and unnatural, as if grown instead of built. The sky burned with a dull red glow, and somewhere far away, something roared. Aaron raised his rifle. He was alone. No signal from his crew. No sign of life. Then he heard it. Footsteps. Heavy, slow, getting closer. Aaron turned toward the sound, aiming his weapon. Out of the smoke, a figure appeared. Tall, almost, twice his height. Broad shoulders covered in broken armor that shimmered like dark glass. A long, jagged blade hung from her hand, glowing faintly. She was an alien, definitely not human. Her skin was pale silver, her eyes bright like molten gold. A series of strange scars ran across her cheek, and her armor was dented and burned. Aaron kept his rifle steady. "Stay where you are," he said, his voice firm. The alien warrior stopped. For a moment, they stared at each other in silence. Then she dropped her blade. It fell into the dust with a heavy thud. Slowly, she sank to her knees. Her breathing was heavy, and blood, dark blue, dripped from a wound in her side. She looked up at him, her golden eyes filled with something Aaron didn't expect. Not hate, not anger, but fear. "Spare me, human," she said, her voice low and trembling. "I'll serve you, however you want." Aaron blinked, confused. Serve him? This towering alien warrior, with armor and weapons more advanced than anything he'd seen, was surrendering? "Why?" he asked, still aiming at her dot. Her gaze flickered toward the sky. A shadow moved across the burning clouds. "Because," she whispered, "you won." Aaron frowned. "I didn't fight you." She shook her head slowly. "Doesn't matter. I was defeated, and in my culture, that means I belong to you now." The ground shook beneath them. Dust fell from the broken towers. Aaron glanced around. What was that? The alien's breathing grew faster. "They're coming." "Who?" Before she could answer, a low, rumbling growl echoed through the ruins. It wasn't like any animal Aaron had ever heard. This sound was wrong, too deep, too sharp. It felt like it came from everywhere at once. Her golden eyes locked on his. "If you want to live, you will follow me." "No." Aaron hesitated. His instinct screamed not to trust her. But that sound was getting closer. He could feel it in his bones. The alien warrior stood, picking up her broken blade. She didn't look strong enough to fight whatever was coming, but there was something in her stance, the way she kept scanning the shadows, that told him she had seen this enemy before. Aaron took one last look at his wrecked ship. Smoke rose from its shattered frame. The emergency beacon was dead. He was stranded. He tightened his grip on his rifle and nodded once. "Lead the way." She gave him a quick glance, almost a nod of respect, and began moving quickly through the ruins. Her movements were silent and precise, despite her size. As they passed under a broken archway, Aaron noticed strange markings on the walls. They looked old, carved deep into the stone, and some glowed faintly in the dim light. "What is this place?" Erin asked quietly. Her voice was low. "A graveyard. My people died here. And yours will too, if we don't move." That growl came again, closer now. Something large was following them. Erin glanced back and saw movement in the dust. A shadow that didn't match the ruins. His heart pounded. What is that thing? She didn't slow down. A harvester. The word felt heavy, dangerous, like it wasn't meant to be spoken out loud. Erin didn't know what a harvester was, but judging by the way her hand tightened around her blade, it was something even this towering alien feared. They turned. Corner, and Erin froze. There, at the far end of the street, something stepped into view. It was massive, its body covered in black, insect-like armor. Its head was too small for its body, with a mouth that split open into rows of sharp teeth. And when it moved fast, far too fast for something that big. The alien warrior stopped, her body tense. "Don't run," she whispered. "It will chase you." Erin gripped his rifle, aiming at the creature. "Then what?" She looked at him, her golden eyes fierce now. "Then we fight." The harvester let out a scream, high-pitched and inhuman, and charged. The warrior's shame, the harvester charged, its heavy claws tearing through the ground. Each step shook the street like a drumbeat of death. Erin fired. Blue sparks exploded off its armor, but the bullets barely slowed it. The creature moved like it didn't care, like it knew nothing could hurt it. Then, beside him, Karenna, the alien warrior, roared. It was not a human sound. It was deep, guttural, and full of rage. She sprinted forward, her broken blade glowing brighter with every step. The harvester swung a massive claw. She ducked under it, her armor scraping against stone. She slashed at its leg, and for the first time, the monster screamed in pain. Erin kept firing, aiming for the wound she had made. The creature stumbled, but didn't fall. Its small head turned toward Erin, those rows of teeth opening wider, drool hissing on the hot ground. "Move!" Karenna shouted. She grabbed him and pulled him behind a collapsed wall, just as the harvester smashed where he had been standing. The blow shattered the stone like paper. They ran. The creature followed, smashing through ruins, breaking ancient towers like they were nothing. They dove into a narrow tunnel between two collapsed buildings. The harvester stopped at the entrance, its massive body too large to fit. It hissed, then backed away slowly, vanishing into the smoke. Erin leaned against the wall, breathing hard. "It's gone?" Karenna shook her head. "No, it's hunting us." "Harvesters don't give up." Erin swallowed. "Then tell me, what the hell was that?" She hesitated, as if the words tasted like poison. "The reason my people lost this world. The reason I serve you now." Erin stared at her. "What does that even mean?" "I didn't fight you. I didn't defeat you." Karenna's golden eyes narrowed. "You think victory is only by blade?" "No, victory is survival. And in that street, you survived when I could not." Erin frowned. "You're saying you are already beaten?" She nodded slowly, the movement heavy with shame. "That harvester killed my commander, my sisters, my entire squad. I was the last. It could have killed me too. But it didn't. Then you arrived. That makes you my conqueror." Erin almost laughed, but there was nothing funny in her tone. "That's insane. Maybe to you, human, but to me, it is law." The tunnel shook again, dust falling from above. Something huge was moving on the surface. Karenna turned sharply, her voice urgent. "We cannot stay here. The harvester is not alone. They hunt in packs." They moved deeper into the tunnel, the air growing colder. Strange green lights glowed on the walls, symbols shifting as if alive. Aaron ran his fingers over them. What is this place? Karena's voice was almost a whisper. A temple, built by those who came before us. The ones who first fought the harvesters. Aaron frowned. You mean other aliens? She shook her head slowly. No, humans. Asterisk, he stopped in his tracks. That's impossible. Humans have never been here. Karena looked at him with something between fear and awe. You think your history is complete? You think your leaders tell you everything? She pointed to one of the glowing symbols. It showed a figure, human in shape, holding a blade, standing over the corpse of a harvester. Aaron stepped back, his mind spinning. Suddenly, a loud clicking sound echoed from the tunnel behind them. Then another, and another. Karena's hand went to her blade. Pack hunters, we are trapped. Aaron lifted his rifle. So what's the plan? Her eyes locked on his, golden fire burning inside them. The plan is to make them regret coming down here. From the darkness. Ahead, the first harvester emerged, crawling on all fours like some nightmare spider. Its armor scraped the stone, its teeth clicking. Then 2 more appeared behind it. Aaron's breath caught. 3 against 2? Karena grinned, blood still dripping from her wound. No, 3 against 1. You're going to run. What? She stepped forward, her huge frame blocking the tunnel. I'll hold them here. You find the relic room. You'll know it when you see it. It's the only thing that can kill their queen. Aaron hesitated. And what about you? She didn't answer. Instead, she roared and charged the first harvester, blade raised high. The tunnel filled with the sound of metal on armor, claws on stone, and her voice, furious. Unyielding. Aaron ran. But the deeper he went, the louder the battle became, until it was suddenly silent. And in that silence, something whispered his name. Asterisk, the predator in the shadows. The tunnel seemed endless. Aaron's boots splashed through shallow pools of dark water as he ran deeper into the alien ruins. His breath echoed against the cold stone walls. Asterisk, the sound of Karena's fight had stopped minutes ago. That silence was worse than the battle. He told himself she was still alive. She was strong, stronger than anything he'd seen. But the image of 3 harvesters tearing into her armor kept flashing in his mind. The whisper came again. Aaron, asterisk, he froze. His name, spoken softly, almost like a sigh. It came from behind him. But the tunnel was empty. Aaron tightened his grip on his rifle and kept moving. The green glowing symbols on the walls were brighter now, shifting like ripples on water. They almost seemed to point the way forward. He reached a wide chamber. In the center stood a tall structure, a black spire covered in carvings. At its base was a stone platform, and on it a weapon. Asterisk, it wasn't like any weapon he knew. The handle looked like polished bone, and the blade shimmered with a strange silver light that made the air around it hum. As he stepped closer, the whisper came. Again, this time from the spire itself. Take it before they come. Asterisk. Aaron hesitated, glancing around the shadows. Who's there? The voice didn't answer. Instead, the air grew colder. He felt it before he saw it. Movement above. Something crawled along the ceiling, its claws scraping stone. Slowly, it dropped down. A harvester. Smaller than the one outside, but faster. Its movements jerky and wrong, like an insect deciding which limb to move next. Its black armor reflected the green glow, making it look like it was part of the shadows. Aaron raised his rifle, but before he could fire, another sound came. Footsteps, heavy, measured. From the far side of the chamber, a figure emerged from the dark. Ka single quotes Rena. Her armor was torn even worse than before. One shoulder plate was gone entirely, and her blade was slick with harvester blood. Her golden eyes locked on him. "You found it," she said. Her voice low. Aaron kept his rifle up. "How do I know it's really you?" Her eyes narrowed. "What are you talking about?" "You disappeared. The harvesters. They could be wearing your skin for all I know." Karena's face hardened. "If I was one of them, you'd already be dead." The smaller harvester screeched and leapt toward Aaron. Before he could fire, Karena moved like lightning, cutting it in half. Mid-air. The pieces hit the ground with a wet thud. She looked at the weapon on the platform. "That is the blade of origin. It was made by your kind before history began. It is the only thing that can kill a harvester queen." Aaron glanced at it. "And where's this queen?" Karena didn't answer. Her gaze flicked toward the tunnel they had just come from. "Closer than you think." A deep, bone-shaking roar filled the chamber. The green lights on the walls pulsed rapidly, almost like a heartbeat. The whisper came again, urgent now. "Take the blade, or you will die." Aaron reached for it, and the moment his fingers touched the handle, the glow spread through the entire room. The carvings on the spire lit up, showing scenes of humans and aliens fighting side by side against massive shadow creatures. Karena stared at the images, her face unreadable. "So it's true. You were here before us." Aaron pulled the blade free. It felt impossibly light in his hand, but powerful, like it wanted to move on its own. From the tunnel, movement. Not one, but many. Shadows crawling along walls, teeth glinting in the green light. The pack had found them. Karena stepped beside him, her broken blade ready. "If we die here, we die fighting." Aaron glanced at her, gripping the blade of origin. "Then let's make it count." The first harvester lunged from the darkness, and Aaron swung. The silver edge sliced through its armor like paper. The creature screamed, a high, piercing sound that made the others hesitate. Karena smiled, baring sharp teeth. "They're afraid now," but the roar that followed wasn't fear. It was a challenge. From the tunnel entrance, something far bigger moved into view, twice the size of the others. Its armor shimmered with a strange green fire. Karena's voice was almost a whisper. "The Queen, *. The green lights on the walls began to go out, one by one, until the chamber was swallowed in darkness. And in that dark, the Queen's voice spoke, not out loud, but inside Aaron's head. "Human, I remember you." *. A test of trust. The darkness was absolute. Aaron could not even see the green glow anymore, only the faint silver shimmer of the blade of origin in his hands. And then the voice came again. "Human, I remember you." Aaron froze. The voice wasn't a sound in his ears. It was inside his skull, sliding between his thoughts like cold fingers. "You stood here before, in another life. You killed my kin. And now you've come again to finish the war your kind began." Aaron gritted his teeth. "Get out of my head." Karena's voice came from the dark, sharp and urgent. "Who are you talking to?" But Aaron didn't answer, because the Queen's voice was louder now. That creature beside you, she is not your ally. She is the bait. She led you here so I could see you, so I could measure the threat you are. Kill her, and I will let you live." Aaron felt his hands tighten on the blade's hilt. The Queen's words slithered in, cold and poisonous. Karena stepped closer, her golden eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "Aaron, listen to me. Whatever you're hearing, it's a lie. The harvesters twist the mind. It's how they break people before they kill them." The Queen's voice came again, almost amused. "She speaks truth about the twisting, but not about herself. She is of the Jacques, the ones who once swore loyalty to us. Her bloodline served the Queens for centuries. She carries my mark." Aaron's chest tightened. "Is that true?" Karena's jaw clenched. "Not the way she tells it. The queen chuckled in his mind. Ask her about the battles she fought before she met you. Ask her how many humans she killed. Aaron's knuckles went white. Karenna, how many? Silence. Then, too many. Asterisk Aaron stepped back, the blade between them now. Why should I trust you? Her golden eyes locked on his. Because I'm the only reason you're still breathing. The queen's voice coiled tighter around his thoughts. Strike her now. End the threat before it ends you. Your ancestors did not hesitate. That is why they won. A distant sound, claws scraping stone, reminded Aaron they weren't alone. The harvesters were still out there circling. Watching. Karenna took a slow step forward. Aaron, if you give in to her voice, you're already dead. The blade of origin is dangerous. It's made for one purpose, to destroy. It will not care who you aim it at. Aaron felt it, a strange pull from the weapon, like it wanted to move, to strike. And for a terrifying moment, he almost let it. Asterisk then. The queen's tone changed. It was no longer mocking. It was cold, sharp, and final. If you will not kill her, then she will kill you. Choose, human, now. Suddenly, the green lights on the walls blazed to life again, revealing the queen fully. She was monstrous. Towering, armored in living black chitin that pulsed with green fire. Her claws were long enough to slice through steel, and her many eyes fixed on Aaron with pure hunger. Behind her, dozens of smaller harvesters clung to the walls like giant insects, their jaws clicking. Karenna stepped in front of him, raising her broken blade. If you run, you might survive. If you stay, you won't. Asterisk Aaron's heart pounded. Run and abandon her? Or stay and face the queen with someone he couldn't fully trust? The blade of origin hummed in his hands, impatient. The queen tilted her head, smiling with too many teeth. Choose and let history repeat itself. Asterisk the first harvester killed thee. Queen's hiss rattled the walls. Her claw scraped the floor, leaving deep scars in the stone. Aaron's grip tightened on the blade of origin. The silver light grew brighter, pulsing in time with his heartbeat. Karenna didn't move. She stood like a wall between him and the queen, her broken blade trembling in her hand. Aaron, she said quietly, if you're going to run, now is the time. The queen's voice slid into his mind again, venomous. Run, and you'll live a few more heartbeats. Fight, and I'll watch you break. Asterisk, the smaller harvesters began to move, crawling down the walls, their claws scraping, their teeth clicking in a rhythm that felt like a countdown. Something in Aaron snapped. No more running. He stepped past Renna. The blade of origin flared, its light blinding for a moment. Aaron felt different. His fear dulled. His muscles tensed like steel cables. The weapon whispered in his head, not in words, but in pure intent. Strike. The first harvester lunged. Aaron swung. The blade sliced through armor, flesh, and bone like air. The creature split in two mid-leap, its scream echoing off the chamber. Walls before its body hit the ground in a pool of green blood. The others hesitated. Karenna stared at him, shock in her golden eyes. You move like one of them. Asterisk Aaron barely heard her. The blade was warm now. No, hot, and the heat was seeping into him. His vision sharpened. The queen's shape seemed slower, easier to read. Every twitch of her claws, every shift in her stance, he could predict it. But there was something else. Whispers, faint, almost like the blade itself was speaking. More, kill more. Two more harvesters came at him from opposite sides. Aaron turned, fluid and fast, ducking under one claw and driving the blade through its chest. Green light exploded from the wound. The creature convulsed, shrieking, before collapsing in a smoking heap. Asterisk, the second harvester landed behind him. its jaws opening wide, and Karenna was there, slamming her broken blade into its mouth. It howled, giving Aaron the opening to finish it with a clean decapitation. The chamber went silent again, except for the slow, heavy steps of the queen. She was watching him now, head tilted, as if curious. Then she spoke, not with her voice, but through the weapon in his hands. "I know you now. You are what they feared, but the blade will not give without taking." Aaron frowned. "What are you talking about?" Karenna's face went pale. "Aaron, look at your hands." He did. The veins beneath his skin were glowing faint silver, the same light as the blade. His grip tightened involuntarily, like the weapon was part of him now. The queen's laugh rolled through his skull. "Every cut you make, it takes a little more. Until you are mine." Aaron's chest heaved. "You're lying." Karenna shook her head. "No, that weapon was made to kill the harvesters, but it was never meant to be kept. It feeds on the one who wields it." The whispers from the blade grew louder. "Kill her next. Kill them all. End it here." Aaron's knuckles whitened. His vision blurred at the edges. The urge to strike, at the queen, at Karenna, at anything, was almost overwhelming. The queen took another step forward, claws scraping the stone. "Come to me, human. Finish what your kind began, and I will make you my champion." Karenna stepped closer to him, her voice sharp. "Aaron, if you listen to her for even 1 second, we're both dead." The blade hummed like a living thing, silver light spilling across the chamber. The air felt thick, charged, as if lightning was about to strike, and then, without warning, the queen leapt. The impact shook the ground, throwing Karenna against the wall. Aaron barely had time to raise the blade before a massive claw slammed down toward his chest. Steel met chitin in an explosion of sparks and light. Aaron roared, driving the blade upward through the queen's claw, through her arm, straight into her chest. The chamber shook with her scream. Green fire burst from the wound, lighting the entire cavern. For a heartbeat, Aaron locked eyes with her, and in that moment he saw fear in the queen's many eyes. Then she ripped herself free and stumbled back, vanishing into the shadows. The smaller harvesters followed, their clicking growing distant. Aaron dropped to his knees, the blade still glowing in his hand. His whole body trembled, not from exhaustion, but from hunger. The whispers were still there. "More there are." "More." Karenna staggered to him, gripping his shoulder. "Aaron, we need to talk. Now." He looked at her, breathing hard. "About what?" Her golden eyes locked on his. "About what that blade just did to you." The Forgotten War of the chamber was quiet again, but the silence felt wrong, like the air was holding its breath. Aaron still knelt on the cold stone floor, the blade of origin glowing faintly in his hand. The silver veins in his skin pulsed. With each heartbeat, and the whispers had not stopped, Karenna stood over him, breathing hard. "That wasn't a victory," she said. "That was a warning. She let us live." Aaron looked up at her. "Why?" Karenna's gaze flicked toward the tunnel where the queen had vanished. "Because she doesn't just want to kill you. She wants to break you first." Aaron forced himself to stand. "You said we needed to talk, so talk." Karenna hesitated, as if the truth itself might cut deeper than any blade. "That weapon, it's not just a tool. It's a key. Only a human can use it, and only one bloodline can survive it." Aaron frowned. "What bloodline?" "Yours." He froze. "That's not possible." You're not just anything, Aaron," Karenna interrupted. "Your ancestors fought the harvesters thousands of years ago, long before your history says humans even left Earth. They weren't explorers. They were soldiers. The first war, the one your people forgot, was fought here." Aaron shook his head. "If that's true, why don't we remember?" Karena's voice lowered. Because you weren't meant to. After the war, your leaders made a pact with the surviving alien races, the Ja-Kur among them. The knowledge was erased. Your people were sent back to your world with no memory, no technology, nothing that could bring you back here. Aaron's chest tightened. And now? Now the harvesters have returned. And the only reason you're standing here, holding that blade, is because somewhere in your blood, the memory of the first war still sleeps. Aaron looked down at the weapon. The whispers had grown louder, almost eager. She's telling you pieces, not the whole. Asterisk, he clenched his jaw. Then tell me, Karena, what aren't you saying? She met his gaze without flinching. The blade of origin doesn't just kill the queen. It changes the one who wields it. That's why only your kind can use it, because only humans can endure the transformation long enough to win. Aaron's pulse quickened. Transformation? Karena's eyes flicked to his glowing veins. You've already started. The longer you hold it, the less human you'll be. The whispers purred in his mind. Less human, more perfect. Aaron swallowed hard. And what happens when I'm not human anymore? Asterisk, Karena's jaw tightened. Then you'll be what your ancestors became, the reason we lost the last war. Before he could answer, a deep rumble shook the chamber. Karena looked up sharply. She's coming back. Aaron raised the blade, but Karena shook her head. No, she's not coming for us. She's going to the surface. Aaron's stomach dropped. Earth. Karena's golden eyes burned with urgency. Not just Earth. Every human colony she can find. She's not here to win a battle. She's here to end your species before you remember what you really are. The whispers hissed like a storm in his mind. Then we will hunt her. Together. Aaron tightened his grip on the blade. You said the weapon is the only thing that can kill her. Karena nodded. Yes, but using it again will pull you further away from being human. And once you cross that line, you won't come back. Aaron looked at her, the weight of the choice pressing down on him. If I don't, we lose everything. The chamber trembled again, this time with the sound of something massive taking flight above them. Asterisk Karena's voice was sharp. Then we need to decide now, Captain Cole. Save your humanity, or save your world. The whispers laughed in his head. Both are not possible. Aaron took a breath, his eyes narrowing. Then we make her regret ever setting foot on our soil. The choice the world above burned. When Aaron and Karena emerged from the ruins, the sky was lit with fire. Human and alien ships falling in spirals of smoke. The Harvester, Queen's shadow cut across the clouds as she moved through the Yao. Battlefield, her wings vast, her armor gleaming with green fire. Karena's voice was grim. She's not attacking randomly. She's searching for you. Aaron gripped the blade of origin. The silver veins in his arms now reached his shoulders, faintly glowing beneath the torn fabric of his uniform. The whispers inside his head were no longer whispers. They were a chorus. Strike her down. Tear the sky open. Become more. Karena touched his arm. If you use the blade's full power, there's no coming back. You won't be you. Aaron's eyes locked on the Queen as she landed in the ruins of a crashed human battleship. If I don't, none of us will be us. They moved fast, weaving through the wreckage, the heat of burning metal washing over them. Every step closer made the blade hum louder, the chorus growing wild with hunger. When they reached the open battlefield, the Queen turned toward them. Her many eyes focused on Aaron, and then she smiled. You've come to me after all, little human. I have been waiting. Aaron stepped forward. This ends now. Asterisk, the Queen tilted her head. Yes, it does. She moved first, faster than before, her claws slamming into the ground where Aaron had stood a heartbeat ago. The shock wave sent Karena tumbling. her broken blade skittering across the dirt. Aaron charged, the blade of origin blazing like a star. He swung, the silver edge carving a deep wound into her armor. Green fire spilled from the cut, but instead of falling back, she grabbed him with one claw and hurled him across the battlefield. He hit the ground hard. For a moment, the world was nothing but ringing in his ears. You think you are your own, Master. The Queen's voice slid into his thoughts. But you are the blade's slave. I can feel it eating you. Soon you will be mine. Aaron pushed himself up, blood running down his face. Not today. He felt it then, the blade's true power. It wasn't just light, it was memory. His vision blurred, and for an instant he wasn't on this battlefield. He was somewhere older, fighting in armor made for a human who was more than human, leading an army against the first Harvester Queen. He saw the victory. He saw the cost, and he understood this was the cycle. The blade didn't choose heroes. It chose sacrifices. The Queen lunged again, but this time Aaron didn't dodge. He met her head-on, driving the blade deep into her chest. Silver light erupted, not just from the weapon, from him. His skin glowed, his veins burned, and the chorus inside his head screamed in triumph. Karenna staggered to her feet, shielding her eyes from the light. Aaron, stop! You'll burn yourself out. The Queen writhed, claws thrashing, but Aaron held on. The silver light spread through her body, cracking her armor like glass. Her voice turned from rage to something almost respectful. You are what they were, what they feared. Finish it. Aaron pulled the blade upward in a single fluid motion. The Queen split apart in a blinding explosion of silver and green fire. When the light faded, the battlefield was silent. The smaller harvesters lay dead, their bodies crumbling into ash. Karenna ran to him. Aaron? Asterisk, he stood there, the blade of origin still in his hand, but his eyes were no longer human. They glowed silver, and faint patterns like alien markings had spread across his skin. He looked at her, and for a heartbeat, she didn't know if it was still him. I told you, he said quietly, we'd make her regret coming here. Karenna swallowed. And now? Aaron looked toward the burning horizon. Now we find the others. She frowned. Others? The whispers returned, not faint now, but clear, cold, and vast. There are more queens. And they are coming. The camera would fade out on Aaron's face, half human, half something else, as the glow of the blade reflected in his alien-like eyes.